I gotta say, there's nothing better than recording the podcast. We're poking and prodding each other's brains, bruh. I'm an idiot. We're already starting off on a weird footnote here, eh? Okay. There's nothing better than doing the podcast during the day when nobody's home. It's not late at night. We can get animated. And it's Thursday at 2 o'clock, time I'm recording this. We just got having one of these nasty beasts again. This is real nice right here. Look at that. That's nice right there. That's nice for you. That's nice for me. Maybe it's not so nice for your ears when I'm just like, it's probably fucking terrible. You know, one thing before we get into the Hot Pass podcast, also welcome, is we'll do the intro and stuff in a second. But you know what really bugs my brother and I when we were growing up? I don't know if you guys are similar. Like if it's quiet in the room, right? You're on a long drive even, like we did with Talladega, and a motherfucker's just chewing some chips, chewing something loud and it just digs at your fucking soul. I don't know if you guys are like that, but it bugs the shit out of my brother. Like my dad and I, we were on our way back from Talladega. My dad's just like sticking his fingers into a brown bag to get some fries out. And he's doing it for like extra long, you know? It takes a couple seconds to get the fries out, get a couple and pop them in your mouth while you're driving. My dad's in there for at least 15, 20 seconds too long. He's just in there. And I'm looking at him, you good, dude? Are you good? And he's like, what? And I went, where are the fries in there? Are there fries in there? Yeah. Well, then get them. Pull them out. Do you want me to put them out and then put them on a little napkin, put them in your lap or something? No, I want them in the bag. And I went, well, then get them out the bag. If you're having troubles, I can help you here. Anyways, this is the shit that I go, good God, the shit that I go through. On long trips. And now I'm crying because I coughed for some reason. All right. Anyways, let's get on with the scheduled program. Welcome to the Friday morning betting show on the Hot Pass podcast, baby. Make sure to like, rate, share, subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. And I apologize for taking till Thursday. As I said in the Monday morning podcast, I said immediately I'm going to get it uploaded to YouTube, and I didn't, and I lied to you. And sometimes people lie. But I got it just uploaded now on Thursday, so go check that out. Hot Pass Podcast on YouTube. And make sure to follow me at @FurlongEric_ on X and Instagram. Because I'm going to tell you right now, we took some early picks in the Cup Series. So make sure when you go to Instagram and X, go to the link tree in the bio, go to my Action Network at @FurlongEric_ and follow all my Cup bets, any NHL bets, whatever. You know, NHL playoffs are on right now. And I had Andre Fiala and a couple other bets. Andre Fiala over 2.5 shots. He literally within the last minute or last 2 minutes, he's at 2 shots. He needs one more, and he hits the puck, and it flies off a guy's shin just in front of the net and flies to the left. And I'm like, dude, there's a $300 swing right there. So the losing continues, or the heartbreak. I mean, we won money, but it wasn't like, you know, as much as it could have been. But make sure to follow me on my Action Network. You guys can follow all my bets, whatever bets I'm making. And always the truck and Xfinity bets are exclusive to the Hot Pass Podcast Friday morning betting show. Okay? So let's dive right in. I also broke down on Instagram and X a little bit of a preview of what I picked. And who we picked in the truck series. I posted it today on Thursday on X, basically saying I'm waiting on some drivers, waiting for practice and qualifying. But let's just dive right in. I hope you guys had a good week. I did. We got the new tires on the car too. I'm feeling fresh. So we're going to record this. I'm going to go clean the car out in the garage. And then the girlfriend is going to go get some burritos, and we're going to the grocery store, and I'm going to fucking cook up some steak for dinner for myself. All right. Well, let's get into some news first. Okay. Ricky Stenhouse just signed a multi-year contract with, was it JTG Racing or whatever it is? That's money right there, dude. I mean, it solidified his spot for an extra couple of years by winning the Daytona 500 last year. And he had a good season for the most part in the first half of the season last year, then immediately fell off. And then this year has been pretty irrelevant. And I mean, he was having a good day at Dover last week and then ends up crashing, which was really sad. But he's a nice guy, but it's like, man, you can just tell money fucking talks. I mean, at least it's not as bad as Colleague saying we're trophy hunting. And then they're finishing like 30th and 35th all fucking week in that range. They're not even remotely fighting for like 20th or 25th, for God's sakes. So, I mean, Ricky Stenhouse is a 20th place car, racing every week. Super nice guy, talented dirt racer. So I have nothing against that, but money talks. Okay, sponsorship talks. I mean, that's basically where my mind goes when I saw that today when I was getting my tires changed over. And also, when I say tires changed over, I can fucking do my own tires, okay? What it was I had the winters on my car because I live in Canada and you southern fucks don't have to suffer like we have to. And winter's a good time. Snowmobiles, snowboarding, sick. But I had the winters on, and then I had summers. Now, let's actually dive into this for a second. I had summers on, and last year they were going to, by the end of the season, I rotated them, and by the end of the season, they were going to be absolutely shot, and I was going to have to get new ones this summer. And, I mean, I didn't realize I was going to move out to Woodstock with the girlfriend, which is about half an hour farther out of town than where I used to live. And then I ended up having to go and drive an hour and a half to and from work for about 4 months. So I was just driving down these tires with the amount of driving I was doing, 3 hours every single day. So by a couple weeks before I was going to put my winter tires on in like October, they're literally bald. They look like a set of NASCAR tires. Okay, a set of slicks. So I go, holy shit, let's just get through another week or two or whatever and put the winters on. So we put the winters on. So I go to pick up my summer tires from my dad's place where I store them. And the one tire has cording. You can go check it out on my Instagram at @furlongeric_. Might post it on X too, but I posted a reel of me showing you the tires, the cording on the tires. Like Bristol ain't got shit on my tires, dude. Like they were cording like crazy. And that was on the inside of the tire, so I couldn't tell. And I was like, oh my God, how the fuck did I not blow a tire? How did I? Because we're fucking slick with it. That's all I got to say. Slick with it on some slicks. So whatever. You may be thinking I'm fucking weird, but go fuck yourself. So what we did is I went and picked up my summer tires, brought them over, loaded up the new tires I bought a couple weeks ago. They're off rims, so they're just the tire. Packed it all up in the Chevy Cruze, 2 sets of tires, unbelievable for the Chevy Cruze. Bring it over, and then they swapped the summers off, the old summers off the rims, put the rims on the new summers, and then took the winter tires off and popped those into my trunk so I can go store them at my old man's. Because that's the only time I've ever had anybody put my own fucking tires on. Like, I can't stand. I like doing it myself. Oil change, not so much. Just because I have a low car and a pickup truck. When I had my pickup truck, that'd be different. But, you know. Also, the lady at the Canadian Tire told me that a lady she put transmission fluid in where her windshield washer fluid is supposed to go. So she was squirting her car with transmission fluid. So that's the world. That's what Canada. You think America's fucked if you're American or wherever you live, Belgium, or whoever's listening, Finland, whatever. Canada's fucked too. We've all got idiots. So, all right. And then Brett Moffitt's back, and we're going to talk about that in the truck series. Brett Moffitt is back in the truck series for this race and a couple of races. If you guys don't know at this point, Brett Moffitt was my favorite truck driver. And Brett Moffitt was one of my favorite Xfinity guys. And I'm still pissed at what AM Racing did by saying they were going to go to a two-team car. Then they took it away and then gave Haley Deegan, she's got all the money. So, and then now look at them anyway. So, I'm happy Brett Moffitt's back. I'm going to have some takes on him. Am I going to take him? Probably not, just because that one car's been pretty bad. So let's dive in to what I've got. I really have nothing. So I'm going to pull up the one bet I've got so far that I put on for the Xfinity and then, for trucks. No Xfinity this week at Kansas. They got a week off. They'll be back at Darlington next week. But I got to say, I got Raja Caruth over Brett Moffitt. Now, you may be thinking that's fucking crazy. That number one truck, I get who it is in the truck, Brett Moffitt. And if he beats me, so be it. I wanted it at plus money. I tweeted it out, and fucking everybody moved the line to minus 130. I was pissed, but I still wanted to take it. Raja won at Las Vegas. Brett Moffitt has won at Kansas in the past. Raja got wrecked in the spring race at the same race a year ago. He took third from Ty Majeski, and Ty Majeski just decided to wreck him for literally no fucking reason. So Raja, a couple weeks ago at Texas, got down a lap. He was stuck down a lap for a while, but then at the end of the race was literally flying through the fucking field. So as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, I think he's a top 5 truck, dude. I personally think he's a top 5 truck. We're going to take him at some point. Raja, I think, is going to be half decent at qualifying, but I'm just going to wait to see on that. But Raja Caruth, minus 130 over Brett Moffitt. I think that was on Caesar Sportsbook. It's dropped down to minus 120 now, so you guys can get that even for a better line. And I personally like it a lot more just because that number one truck has had mechanical issues. It's got caught up in shit. I mean, and it's Brett Moffitt, so I think he'll be able to run top 10. But just like the mechanical issues on that truck have been horrendous. So anyways, let's go into Bet365 online here. Okay. We're going to go in and I'm just going to break down some odds for you guys, what I'm going to take after practice and qualifying, because I've looked at the history of the couple of these drivers that I want to take, and they haven't traditionally been very good at qualifying. So I think their numbers are going to drift out. Now, let's go to the outright markets here. Corey Heim is the favorite. I'm taking Corey Heim this weekend. I'm going to wait till qualifying's done. Okay. Corey Heim actually has not qualified the best here the last 2 years, or last year, sorry. He didn't qualify. I think he qualified okay at Vegas. He did not qualify well at Texas. So I expect him to maybe, because if like Christian Eckes is plus 350 on Bet365, the exact same number. And Christian Eckes is really good at qualifying, and so is Nick Sanchez. If they get the pole, okay, Corey Heim's probably going to stay around the same. He might drop down to 3-1. You might even get a 4-1, 4.5-1. I've seen it before, right? Christian Eckes will drop down, and then Nick Sanchez is going to, be probably roughly the same 6.5-1 that he's at, or he'll drop down to like a 5-1, right? I'm not really looking for a Nick Sanchez. A little bit too inconsistent. He's fast, but doesn't really have that finishing capability yet. He'll get it in years experience. But Corey Heim might be able to drip, so I'm going to wait, right? Zane Smith, 5-1. No, thank you. Just that, I think he's in the 91 truck. Doesn't really have a speed. Top 5 maybe. But even then, I don't want to trust it. Ty Majeski, 7.5-1. You already know. We're staying away. Now let me get into a little bit of Tay Gray. Little Tay Gray. What's up, Tay Gray? So Taylor Gray, I think he's on a matchup against Tyler Ankrum as well on Caesars, and I'm going to take this. Tyler Ankrum here. I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to pull it up for you. Tyler Ankrum here at, let me get a little sip. Now, he showed some speed, right? What did he get caught into at Texas? Wreck. What does he usually get caught into? Wrecks. His history here has not been the very best, okay? So, and I understand he finished second at Vegas. I was there, saw it, saw the speed. Was absolutely terrified because we hit the 75-1 for Raja Caruth. And I'm like, holy shit, he's coming. But I don't think he's got the fucking talent, dude. It's all about money here. His finishes, 11th since 2019. 11th, 33rd, 28th, 34th, 15th, 16th, 14th, 10th, and 9th. Gradually getting better. But I really do think that Tay Gray, who finished second here in the fall, and I think 9th or 10th in the spring rate, or opposite way. No. Let me pull it up. God damn it. Look at me. Unprepared. piece of shit. Look at this. Tegray. Come on, Tegray. Because I was watching both races. I totally forgot, honestly, that we go to the Truck Series goes to Kansas twice in a year. And 2 of his races at Kansas, Tegray. Not Tanner Gray, Tegray. In the spring race he finished 9th. In the fall race he finished 2nd. Okay. Need I say more? Beat him every single fucking time, dude. He's beat him every single time. And you're going to get plus money. So plus 100 on Caesar Sportsbook. Taylor Gray over Tyler Ankrum. As I continue to say it, Tyler Ankrum is a pay-to-play fucking portion, okay? He is not the elite caliber Corey Haim is, Christian Eckes, Zane Smith, not in this truck, but previous years. Not even as good as Ben Rhodes. And Ben Rhodes, I understand, like this year's dog shit, but Ben Rhodes has won 2 championships. So this year you may be calling, I'll choose Tyler Ankrum over Ben Rhodes. Sure. But you're still playing with fire because he's very inconsistent. So I also like Raja Caruth over Tyler Ankrum on Bet365. I'm fading Tyler Ankrum. I think he could be a top 5 truck. Yeah. But he just lacks talent. And here, it's a little bit of a different mile and a half. It's a racy mile and a half. And I think those really fast trucks with guys with a lot of speed to be able to work the air off, guys that have a lot more talent, like Corey Haim and Christian Eckes, because I think one of those 2 guys are going to win the race. I think the guys farther back, Raja, speed in that fucking truck is crazy. And Taylor Gray has speed in that truck and the talent to be able to save tires, work air off, guys. Tyler Ankrum don't got that. Tyler Ankrum beats me. Cool. His large ass head can inflate into a big hot air balloon and then fucking fly all the way up to Canada, kidnap me, and kill me. How about that? This is what my mind comes up with. My ADHD mind comes up with on the spot. So everybody over, basically we're chanting this weekend. Okay? This is our chant. Fuck. Oh, I can't say fuck Tyler Ankrum because there's nothing bad about him. It's not really a chant, but our mantra is like, everybody over Tyler Ankrum. Everybody over Tyler Ankrum. We just keep saying and we hum, everybody over Tyler Ankrum. Everybody over Tyler. That's what we do, okay? So Raja Caruth minus 110 over Tyler Ankrum. I think it was plus money at one point, so that really pisses me off. But yeah, so that's how we feel about that matchup, and those are our matchups. So matchups, Raja Caruth over Tyler Ankrum minus 110 on Bet365. Taylor Gray plus 100 over Tyler Ankrum on Caesars. And then the first one, Raja Caruth, he's now minus 120 on Caesars over Brett Moffitt. That's going to be a sweaty one, let me tell you. Because Raja can hurt me in the past. So then, yeah, let's go back and we're going to look at top 5 markets. I think the best, I'm going to try and pull up Caesars here. I just want to see, there's been some shit going on with Caesars, man. Everybody on social media is losing their minds, and so am I, about how they have their shit set up right now. With being able to find, what the hell is going on, dude? This is what I mean. What has happened? I don't want to be in the casino. I want to be in sports. I click sports and it doesn't bring me to sports. So basically Caesars has fucked up everything on their websites and everything to be able to find sports and find your games, Okay. Well, then fuck Caesars. We're not even going to Caesars. We're going to just totally exit out of there. So the top 5 markets, let me just talk about some things. Corey Haim minus 170 for a top 5. Actually, I know that's a lot of juice. You might be able to find minus 150 somewhere. I know that's a lot of juice. But he's gonna be there. I personally might parlay that up with like a Bubba Wallace top 5 for Sunday. Or a who would be a good one, like a Tyler Reddick top 5 or something. Maybe Willie B. One of those 3, parlay them up together and then hammer that, because I feel like we'll talk about it in a minute, but that Tyler Reddick should be in the top 5 all day. But like the only thing I have with those 23-11 guys is their pits. So parlay those up. Maybe a Willie B. Willie B should be really good as well. Should be in the top 5. Got a good pit crew. Parlay up those top 5s and they should hit. So minus 170 is, I think, a great number to be able to parlay that up, and you guys can get some solid plus money. Christian Eckes, same number. I'm looking at, and this is what I wanted to talk about. I talked about it on X. We're waiting on Taylor Gray. Okay? We're going to wait on Roger Carruth is plus 200, actually. So I might take that for a top 5, but it might drift out. This is what I mean, okay? Christian Eckes, Zane Smith, Nick Sanchez, these guys could qualify really well. You get a couple other guys up there. But I think if those guys that are super strong, even if Corey Heim qualifies well, it's going to drift these guys out, right? Taylor Gray qualified 16th and 19th in Kansas last year. He qualified bad at Texas, qualified bad at Las Vegas, as far as I can remember. I'm pretty sure he's just not the best at qualifying, but he comes up through the field. He'll be like, low teens, and he'll start coming back up to the field. He's just got a good truck, right? The speed. So that might drift that Taylor Gray plus 150 number out a little bit, closer to like a plus 200 or something. So I want that better. No matter what, I think Taylor Gray, because of the guys that are like Corey Heim, Christian Eckes, Zane Smith, are so good that they're going to stay at minus money, and we're still going to be able to get Taylor Gray plus money for a top 5. I will take a Taylor Gray plus money top 5 any day of the week now in the Truck Series. He's just been showing us a speed. He's flexing it on us, and they're still going to be like, I'll give you plus money. So boom, Taylor Gray top 5 after practice and qualifying, and hunt down on Caesars or DraftKings for some reason doesn't have top 5s this week. They have top 3. But usually I find either it's Bet365 or DraftKings has the best top 5, top 3 positional odds. So make sure after practice and qualifying Saturday afternoon, make sure to look for the best odds out there. So I'm going to be hunting for a Taylor Gray and a Roger Carruth top 5. I like those. Parlaying Corey Heim up with a Cup guy. And then, if I can find... I've been wanting to take Matt Crafton. But something always happens. Now, Stuart Friesen, speed, something always happens. Now, the guys I'm looking at for long shots, okay? Dean Thompson, if he can get the speed, he has the speed. He's in the same style as same team of trucks as, was it Taylor Gray and Tanner Gray? It has speed. I think he lacks a little bit of talent. But Dean Thompson at plus 1,400 for a top 5. He cashed us a crazy one just like that at the Coke 600 weekend last year, and the top 3. He can do it. If he can put a race together, he can do it. So I'm going to take a Dean Thompson plus 1,400, unless it's longer on other books. I don't know. For a top 5, I like that. And then is Caden Honeycutt in here? Dude. These are tiny sprinkles. I'm not saying go heavy, okay? Caden Honeycutt plus 1,800, just a tiny little sprinkle. That motherfucker's got speed, dude. I think he's got lots of speed, and if a bunch of calamity can happen, plus 1,800. It's the same team that Carson Hocevar won races in last year. The same team, not the same exact same. Is it the same truck? I think he might be driving the 45. But Caden Honeycutt has got speed. He's got talent. That'd be a crazy one. So the top 3 market, let me go look at it quick. We might take that Tay Gray, switch it to a top 3. Let me look. Plus 275. I think he was like plus 350 on draft. Okay. Wipe it all out. Corey Heim. He's plus 110. No, we're going to parlay the top 5 minus 170 with a Cup driver, okay? Then Taylor Gray, we're going to take plus 350 on DraftKings for a top 3. Then for top 5s, we're going to take Roger Carruth at plus 200. And then wait for Taylor Gray. We're going to ride as the NASCAR Gambling Podcast says, ride the truck lift. And we're going to have Taylor Gray top 5, but after practice and qualifying. And then we're going to take the crazy long shots of Dean Thompson, Caden Honeycutt as a top 5 at plus 1,400 and plus 1,800. Okay? That's the positional odds. And then outright, I talked about him. Corey Heim at some point. Pick one or the other, Christian Eckes or Corey Heim. Those are one of the guys that are probably going to win. I think I'm personally going to take Corey Heim. But at the same time, you can get manufacturer winner plus 220 for Toyota. So if you want, you could take Christian Eckes and then go and take a Toyota to cover your ass. But I'm personally, Corey Heim has to make up some debts from Phoenix last year when I had Grant Enfinger win the championship. So I'd like to make some money off Corey Heim, and I think he can fucking do it. So plus 350 at Corey Heim. I'm going to take it after practice and qualifying to see if it drifts out maybe to a 4-1. Taylor Gray after practice and qualifying. He's plus 1,200 on most books. I'm going to wait for that. Any other driver that really gets me, right hard? I know I said over Brett Moffitt, but I want to see how Brett Moffitt qualifies. If he has speed but qualifies bad, I might think about taking him after practice qualifying. So follow me at Furlong Eric _ to be able to see what I take in the final card. And then I think Raja Karuth as well. I mean, Raja could go out there and lay down some insane fucking laps and qualify really well. I just think that 12-1 is just super short. It's super short. So let's pray for Christian Eckes to get the pole, Ty Majeski to get the pole, Nick Sanchez, and then make these guys drift out a little bit more. So outright, Corey Heim, Taylor Gray after practice and qualifying, Raja Karuth at some point, and if Brett Moffitt qualifies bad, but we see a tinge of speed, I think he can, drift out a little bit. I'm just waiting for guys to drift out. These plus 1,200 numbers are just way too short right now. Drift out to us. Okay. So that's the card right there. Corey Heim, Taylor Gray, Raja Karuth, Brett Moffitt to win. I'm not really anchoring on too many crazy long shots. Maybe Matt Crafton, Jake Garcia. Jake Garcia is not a bad number. Maybe a Tanner Gray. We'll see. Top 3. I like Tay Gray, plus 350 on DraftKings. I'm pretty sure it was. Corey Heim, match it up with a cup driver. A good cup driver on Sunday. Parlay that up. Taylor Gray after practice and qualifying to get a good number on a top 5. Raja Karuth, top 5. And then we're going to take crazy Dean Thompson, Caden Honeycutt long shots. There's a couple of long shots that I'm looking at going, ooh, I want to just sprinkle a wee bit. Just a wee bit. So that is the truck card for the weekend. But it's not completely done, so make sure to follow me at Furlong Eric _. Let's go to cup odds now. Okay. Now, have I really taken shit at all? Like, at all? Not really. We all know the facts about Kansas Speedway for 2311 and everybody that's affiliated. If you don't, and this is your first time listening, well, welcome. You're listening to a crazy person, okay? But the fact is, if you haven't followed me on social media and you guys haven't watched NASCAR much, or it's your first year, Kansas, the last 2 years has been 2311, and the owner, Denny Hamlin of 2311, who drives the number 11. It's their kingdom, okay? Kingdom come, thy will be frickin' done. We will be doing donuts in Victory Lane. How you like that one? Go in peace. Serve the Lord. Amen. So, grew up Catholic. Sup, bitch. So if you guys don't know, 2311, when we went to the Gen 7 car, Kurt Busch was driving the 45 at the time. He won in the spring race in 2022. The fall race of 2022, Kurt Busch later on in the year got hurt, but because Ty Gibbs came up, was driving that car, but because they went into the playoffs, that car was eligible for owner points. So Bubba, the better driver, the more experienced, ends up going in the 45. He wins the fucking race in fall of 2022. We go to the 2023 spring race. Denny Hamlin, the owner of 2311, goes and wins the race on the last lap by taking out Kyle Larson. I won a bag that day. God bless you, Denny, for doing it that day. Okay, we love you. And then the fall race, Tyler Reddick goes and wins in the 45. I mean, at this point, if you aren't putting 2311 on your betting card, you are fucking stupid. Stupid. All right? Because take the longest one as well. Like, I got Bubba Wallace. That's why you guys got to follow me. I took Bubba Wallace at 16-1 on Bet365 when they opened up those lines. The lines were kind of all over the place. I mean, at one point early on in the week, I tried to get Ty Gibbs 20-1. It dropped down to 15-1. Don't like that. I don't like betting on Ty Gibbs at 15-1. But at this point, you have to have every single one. Now, as you can see behind me off to my right, your left, Bubba Wallace gear, Ross Chastain gear, and we're going to talk about him too. I'm also a Tyler Reddick fan. So we're taking both. I don't give a fuck. 6.5-1 for Tyler Reddick to win the race. I'm taking it. We're going to start off in the outrights, baby. We're not even going to matchups yet. We're going to work backwards. We're going to be all over the place today. I'm lacking notes, but this brain makes notes as we go. Tyler Reddick, 6.5-1 to win the race. I like it. I like it a lot. I don't give a fuck if it's super short. I'm taking him. I have to take him at some point. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit, and if it doesn't really change after practice and qualifying, I'm going to take it again. I'll put more on it. We've got Bubba Wallace outright at 16-1. Right now on Bet365, he's 14-1. I would still bet it. I think he's going to qualify pretty damn good too. And then Ross Chastain, 20-1. I think somewhere you can find Ross Chastain at 22-1. I think at one point I saw that on Bet Rivers. Bet Rivers will just randomly come out with, like, they adjust their lines a lot. So at times you can just kind of have it open on your phone while you're watching TV, and it'll all of a sudden drift out for a second, and you can go and take a little bit of a longer set of odds. I like that. Now, a guy that is really scaring me, and I'm looking at his numbers, is William Byron. Could this be the weekend where I finally cash a William Byron bet? Because I can never, everybody's got that guy, right? If you've ever bet on NASCAR, there's always that one guy that eludes you, right? He goes and wins all these races, right? A guy will go win these races, but you can never hit him, whether it's Trucks, Xfinity, or Cup. You can just never bet him on, like, it feels like you can't bet him at the right time. He'll all of a sudden lose a tire, crash when you bet on him. And when you don't, the next week he goes and wins, right? That's me and William Byron. And he's proven to me that he is good. All right? We have a little bit of a hatred. If you've listened to previous episodes of the Hot Pass podcast, I got a little bit of hatred. So I'm humming and hawing between him and Tyler Reddick, William Byron and Tyler Reddick, who I'm going to take as my number one pick. Because I won Tyler Reddick, I think in the fall. But William Byron is going to be good. So maybe we'll take a William Byron top 5. That's what I was thinking of parlaying up with Corey Heim. But just keep William Byron in your mind. He was hovering around like 9-1 as well, which is insane for a guy that's been consistently good everywhere on Bet Rivers. So think about that. Crazy long shots for outrights. I mean, Kyle Busch could be a sneaky motherfucker, dude. So before, he's 18-1 on Bet365 now that I'm looking at it, but that doesn't really, if he's like in the 20s, I would have kind of sprinkled a wee bit maybe on it, or maybe a top 5. But he's been so inconsistent, that team has sucked. But when they were kind of on it last year, he would continuously qualify inside the top 10. So last week at Dover, it surprised me, but not as much as I thought it would, only because he has qualified good last year. I feel like I would, even at the beginning of the year, I kept continuously betting on him to qualify in the top 10, because he would continuously always be there at the end. Maybe he would qualify 9th or 10th at the back end of the top 10, but he would, even at Vegas, he fucking qualified in the top 10. And he was fast there at the beginning of the race before a pit penalty. So, if you're going to take a pull bet, maybe sprinkle a little on a Kyle Busch, I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up running inside the top 10, because Vegas he was fast. Texas he ended up wrecking. He ends up still finishing in the top 10. A Kyle Busch top 5 would not be crazy. Outright, I want it a little bit longer just because of their inconsistencies. But other than that, I don't really see much of anything else. These Kyle Larsons and Denny Hamlins and Martin Truex and all this shit, they're just so good. A lot of people are looking at Alex Bowman this week. I'm going to wait. We'll talk about him in a minute, but I'm going to wait on him. Now, top 3 market. It's so short to hit. So I'm not too sure who I would take in this one. I might take a Ross Chastain at 5-1 for a top 3. That's just a nice long number. That's what I'm seeing on Bet365. Could be longer somewhere else, but I like that long number. And Ross has been good here. He had speed at Vegas and then ends up, pit penalty or whatever, but still ran back up inside the top 10. And then ends up almost winning the race at Texas, and I think he was still a really good car. So these 1.5 mile tracks are bringing speed. So Ross Chastain top 3 is not a crazy one. So keep that in mind. I should be marking this shit down, shouldn't I? Top 5 market. Now that I'm looking at it, let's brainstorm some ideas to parlay Corey Heim up with. Just because I'm Bet365, there might be better numbers out there. But plus 130 for William Byron to be top 5. It's not bad. I just don't want to have too many plays on one driver, right? We got to switch it up a little bit. Because I want to do it with Ross Chastain because he's plus 275, and that's a nice number. We get a real nice, big, juicy number to parlay with Corey Heim. Let's just, we got Kyle Larson minus 130, Tyler Reddick minus 125, Denny Hamlin minus 120. I'm looking for like a nice plus money. I mean, you could even do it with a Tyler Reddick. The inconsistencies, though. I think a safe one would be to parlay it with Kyle Larson at minus 130. I feel like that's not a bad bet. What's Kyle Larson's finishes here? And obviously we have to take into consideration that he did get wrecked or wrecked himself, whatever it was, in the spring race of 2023. So anytime we're looking at these numbers here, take that into effect. That's not where he was running. He was leading a lot of fucking laps at Kansas last year. So anyone Vegas, we'll fall off at oh my God. So he finished first in 2021, spring of 22, second, fall of 22, eighth. Oh, he ended up still finishing good. He still finished second even with the wreck. I forgot. In the spring of 23, finished second, and then fourth at Kansas. So in the fall race at Kansas. So 3 out of the 4 races in the Gen 7 car at Kansas, he's finished in the top 5. So let's do that. My phone's, I'm obviously recording this through my phone, so I can't really put it together. But I mean, the last 5 races here, he's finished in the top 5 4 times. So we're going to parlay that up together. So you're going to get a minus 170 Corey Heim, top 5, minus 130 Kyle Larson, top 5. Parlay that up together, hammer it, and I think that should hit. The only way is like if there's a tire, like if there's a pit issue. Like that's the only way. Like Kyle Larson is checkers or wreckers, so that scares me. And Corey Heim has finished, I think they said a couple weeks ago, he was like the last 22 races or something like that. He's finished in, or like the last 23 races, he's finished in the top 10, 22 times. So there's only one time. So like the odds of you hitting it for a top 5 is really good. And at Texas, he ended up finishing second. Vegas, I think he ended up top 5 as well. I mean, need I say more? I think that's a good parlay. Also, before I forget, all right, so let's continue on with the top 5s, and then we'll get into what I was going to say about top 10s. I think Bubba Wallace top 5 at plus 250 is a solid number. I think he's going to qualify really well as well. So get some Bubba Juju in there. I think like even a Denny Hamlin or a Tyler Reddick minus 125. I understand that's a little juice, right? I think it's a solid number too. If you guys want to take that, Martin Truex plus 130. I understand the past history is not the best, but still. But what we're going to take is Kyle Larson to parlay up with Corey Heim. And we're going to look at either a Martin Truex or a Bubba Wallace top 5. I kind of like that, even a Willie B. Let's go with top 10s. Now, top 10s haven't really excited me. All right, this week has not excited me really. It's a lot of chalk going on. Ross Chastain top 10 minus 135. That feels like I would hammer the shit out of that. He's got a lot of speed. The only thing is pit issues, right? But I think Ross has got the speed. He's got the talent to win here. He's and I think that a lot of people are always dissing Ross and dissing fucking Trackhouse. You can suck my butthole, okay, my big old beehole, because I can tell you right now, that motherfucker always proving people wrong. It's gonna take a couple of years to get up into the Cup Series, to be the top dog. All right, but he's there. He's gonna get there. So minus 135 for a top 10. I probably might smack that. Alex Bowman minus 105 for a top 10. I like that. I'm gonna put 2 units on it. Let's have some fun with it. Now, I like Alex Bowman this week. He's done really well. I'm not gonna take him outright, but I think he's done really well, and a top 10 finish would be solid. That would be really good for us. On DraftKings, you can parlay top 10s. One of the parlays I was gonna do was Alex Bowman top 10. Ross Chastain top 10. I think it was William Byron and Martin Truex or something. Or maybe I had Kyle Busch in there or something. I think it was Martin Truex. And I was going to put a unit on it, and it pays out like 5 or 6 units. I was like, that seems like a good chunk of guys right there that have speed. I think Bubba might have been in it. A good chunk of speed that can finish in the top 10. I know that's a lot of drivers to finish inside the top 10, but it feels like the cream of the crop at Kansas ends up finishing up in the top. So, Jesus Christ, I'm smacking the microphone. I feel like that's a good top 10. Parlay it up. Parlay a crazy one. Add some guys that you really like that are going to run well here, that like the top guys, and then add like a bit of a longer shot, like a Noah Gragson or something. Pop them in there, right? And then that'll get a crazy, and then pop like half a unit, a 0.1 of a unit, whatever your unit allocation is, whatever you feel, like have some fun. Because if it hits, holy shit, it could cover your whole card, right? I just like that they are parlaying top 10s because people won $1 million, 2 summers ago at Daytona? So it could hit, and it is possible. Just put $10 on it every week, and you never know, it could hit, and it could win big. So that's what I wanted to say about that. We also have, I don't really have much else. I'll talk about the drivers that win the pole in a second. But my one race matchup that I had, plus 105, Bubba Wallace over Chase Elliott. And I talked about this on my Instagram earlier on in the week. Chase Elliott, you look at his numbers and his recent speed, and he won at Texas 1.5 miles. He's been good. His history at Kansas is good. It's not great, but it's good, right? Finishing top 10s, even in the Gen 6, finishing top 10s, right? But Texas was his first top 5 at 1.5 miles in Gen 7. That's been 2 years, okay? It's been 2 years of the Gen 7. He got extremely lucky. I don't think he was the best car either. Late race restarts helped him win the race. And I know I'm back on the Chase Elliott. We cashed the top 5 last week. Thank you, Noah Gragson, for having a little bit of fall off now, conserving your tires. But I just think that like Bubba Wallace, every time other than the fall race of last year, he was definitely a top 3 fucking car all day. For sure, he had a chance to win the race, but then ends up blowing a tire. Every other race in Gen 7, Bubba Wallace has beat Chase Elliott every single time. And I think Bubba Wallace could do it again. There's something about, Bubba Wallace, 23-11 in this track. So plus money on that. I really like it. Still plus 105 on Bet365. I didn't hammer it, but I took it. So I think it's going to be a good one. It's just Bubba Wallace and that 2311 fucking pit crews freak me out. But I think Bubba and 2311 and Toyotas are going to be the cream of the crop this weekend. So Bubba Wallace plus 105 over Chase Elliott. Now that I look at some other matchups, there's nothing that I really like. Like this week is not giving me much else of fun. Ooh. There is a Ross Chastain and Ryan Blaney matchup. Ross Chastain is plus 100. Blaney is minus 130. Yeah, I'm taking Ross. Plus money, where Ford has been absolute dog poop, but Ryan Blaney and Noah Gragson have been the best. I still think Ross can beat him. Like Ford has been dog poop. So I'll take Ross. I get pretty bad of like getting in my own head of taking the same guys because I'm so confident in them winning that I continuously take them throughout my whole betting card. And then if they don't have a good day, it hurts me. So I'm trying to diversify and get off that. It's a little bit of a sickness I got when it comes to betting because I just feel so good about a certain driver that week. So we're trying to diversify our plays, right? Like we've got the Bubba Wallace over Chase Elliott. Like I have Bubba Wallace outright. I'm going to take him probably top 5 or whatever, right? There's got to be some diversity in here. But you just feel so good about guys that they should be doing good this week. And if they don't, we die by the sword. We live by the sword. So that's it for the matchups. So that was Bubba Wallace over Chase Elliott plus 105 on Bet365. And as well on Bet365, Ross Chastain over Ryan Blaney at plus 100. So let's go to drivers to win the pole position. I mean, I just looked at Kyle Larson's numbers. He's fucking good here at qualifying. I mean, if you want, just take a single bet on Kyle Larson to win the pole. I don't hate you for it at this point. He's beat us twice now by literally milliseconds. The last 5 races here at Kansas, he's qualified first in 2021. And then from 2022 on, 3rd, 7th, 2nd, and 2nd. So it's going to be a sweaty one. So I'm looking at the odds. Plus 220 for Kyle Larson to win the pole. Are you fucking nuts? How can you take that? If he beats me, he beats me. But I saw a number out there, I think it might have been on Caesars, plus 750 for William Byron to get the pole. I'm taking that. I'm going to take, I see Bubba Wallace plus 1,200. Kyle Busch plus 1,600. I don't think is a bad one. So I'm going to take William Byron at the plus 700 number, whatever it was, on Caesars. Christopher Bell, if I can find a bit of a longer number like that. And then I already took Ty Gibbs at 14-1. Those are my bets for qualifying. Okay. Qualifying matchup parlay. I forgot to tell you guys about this one. Okay. This is the last thing, then we'll wrap it up. I took earlier on in the week. Now, this could be sweaty because of the history of Denny Hamlin. Ty Gibbs qualifying at Kansas has been very inconsistent. But I think with the new body of the Toyota, the downforce, I think this is good for them in qualifying, definitely at Kansas. And they've beat Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski, who they're matched up with every single at the last 2 mile-and-a-half races. And so let me break it down. Denny Hamlin was minus 150. He's definitely not now. They got bet the fuck out of. He was minus 150 over Brad Keselowski for qualifying. Brad Keselowski this year at qualifying has been absolutely terrible. They've made some really bad decisions in qualifying, and Denny Hamlin and the Toyotas have, other than super speedways, have been consistently very good at qualifying. So Denny Hamlin minus 150 over Brad Keselowski was the first leg of the parlay. And then Ty Gibbs over Chris Buescher. Now, this one could be a sweat one. Chris Buescher could randomly come out, lay a lap down, and fucking ruin your day. That's the guy I'm mainly worried about. Ty Gibbs, though, has been good at qualifying. Beat, as Vegas and multiple other places, has been really good at qualifying. He qualified in the top 10 at Vegas, beating Chris Buescher out by 1 or 2 spots, which was a sweaty one. And then Texas just beat the shit out of him. So I just think that it's going to be a close one, but that could be the one that hurts us the most. But that parlay was like +2 something or whatever, I think. And then I put 2 units on it. If it hits big, we're starting off well. And recently, I've been really good at these qualifying matchup bets. They've profited us a little bit, or at least made a lot of money back and profited. Helped us profit still off of even after not hitting our qualifying bet. The poll bets. So the matchup bets have been where it's at for me. I've even thought about taking breaks on the poll till there's a little bit more consistency with certain guys. But the matchups has been where it's at. So Ty Gibbs, Denny Hamlin matched up together to beat over Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher and the RFK crew, and making a lot of money on that, I hope. So that's been the Hot Pass podcast. I hope you guys enjoy my crazy ass talking on a weekly basis. I get great reviews from people. People love the show. And I'm so glad that you guys are listening to this and listen to my crazy ass. All right. So let's go make a lot of bags this weekend. Make sure to follow me at @FurlongEric_ on all my social media. Go to the link tree in the bio there and follow me on my Action Network. And then, and then go like, rate, share, subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast, hit the notification bell wherever you're listening or watching the podcast. And I appreciate you guys immensely. Keep we've got a lot of views, and we're only a couple months in, so I'm loving every single minute of it. Shouts out to Kyle Petty and the Pontiac Mellow Yellow shirt. If you've made it this far of the podcast, we got the little ducky hat on, the green ducky hat. And let me go clean my car now, okay? Let me finish off a couple more of these nasty beasts. And also, go Leafs tonight. All right? Thursday night, Leafs, Game 6 in Toronto, hoping to break a 6-game home winless streak in the playoffs. Let's get it fucking done tonight. Let's go to Game 7, go to Boston, and fucking beat Boston. All right? I'm tired of this shit. I live in a household full of Boston Bruins fans, and it's fucking killing me on the inside, all right? So go Leafs. And if we lose, because Game 7, if we do win tonight, Game 7 Saturday, so you're going to hear about my reaction on Monday morning. So we'll talk to you guys Monday morning on the Monday Morning Show on the Hot Pass podcast. Love you guys. We'll talk to you later. See ya. Peace.